Hi, parents. I'm Deacon John Wilson, Education Enrichment Director of West Angeles Church, here to talk to you very briefly as a 10th and 11th grade parent, maybe even ninth, I guess, for that matter, eighth, about AP classes. I have some very serious and important thoughts about them as I look over my 20 years of working with high school students and every year seeing the effect of decisions students have made or I have made or parents have made. And we need to talk about this matter of AP classes. I don't think they're totally obsolete, but we have some opinions that might surprise some of you who are thinking about what your students should take in college based on what people are telling you about AP classes. And I know I have some real friends in the education industry that may disagree with me, but I've seen too many students coming to me as seniors and they've taken, really too many of these AP classes. Note, I've never seen any who were affected adversely by not having any either, but that's another whole story. Let's take a look at what I have for you here today. All right. Okay. Should my student take AP courses? A guide for 10th and 11th grade parents. That's what a lot of you are wondering right now. Even if you've already picked your classes for the coming year, it's not too late to go back in after seeing this video and make some changes because you are the parent. Don't let any school tell you you can't change your classes. They try to make you feel guilty and all that. Just call me up. I'll make you feel better about your decision and show you how I can really help you to make that a great decision. All right. First of all, here's some questions that you as a parent need to ask yourself. I think it's fair that you should ask yourself these questions. Okay. If you're thinking about AP courses this year, do I know what a good GPA really is these days? Well, I say it's going to be kind of hard because you don't know what the college list is. So you don't know what GPA is needed. You don't know enough yet to know that. I mean, I can meet with you and talk about the first 2 years, but in general, I would say really 3.8, 3.9, 4.0 unweighted. That's a good GPA these days because those are the GPAs that are going to get you the money. If your student's a great student, 3.5, 3.0, 3.2, 3.6, that's great, but it's not considered a super high GPA. It's just a good GPA, a decent GPA. But these days, if you're talking good, meaning one that can command money for college, merit, a significant amount of merit money, it's not really. What is the current GPA? You'd be surprised how many parents don't know the GPA their students carry. You probably don't know because the school hasn't been open with you about it. Just get the transcript and look at the bottom, and I want you to follow it every year. Not the GPA for the individual quarter, but the cumulative GPA. You should be watching that very closely. We'll talk about the two different types of GPAs in just a minute. Am I just pushing my youth to AP courses in order to raise his or her GPA? Well, you realize that if they're an AP and they get an A, they get 5 points, and a B, they get 4. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that's the wrong reason to push students to AP classes because you're going to find out that every school doesn't look at weighted GPA. That's why I don't understand these articles. That this or that child. Oh my God, they were 4.6, but maybe the institution wasn't even looking at weighted GPA that they went to. It's really only one type of institution, and we'll get to that in a minute. How did your youth do in earlier honors and AP courses? What a great question. They took honors classes and got B's and C's. How's it suddenly going to change and they're going to get A's in AP? And they shouldn't be taking an AP course unless you think they can get an A. You think, well, at least they'll get a B, they'll have more points. Well, that's true, but what about all the C's they're going to get from AP courses? And some of them just count as 2 points, and some are 2.5, but 2.5 is going to reduce your GPA. I just think there are a lot of C's when I look at AP courses and their seniors. I think those are lost opportunities. Is your student in athletics or any other time consuming activity? What a great question that is. If they're busy or in other activities, you can't expect them to take a lot of AP classes. Even one or two might be too many. I like a balanced life for kids. I like them to have fun when they're in high school. This pandemic should have taught us that. We had them locked down all those months. We want them to have some fun now. Um, Now, I'm not one for overdoing the fun thing, but I certainly think they should have a balanced life. If they're in athletics, then accept that. And let's take some regular courses and have them do well in those. Are they in the arts, performing arts, and they enjoy it? Well, let them enjoy it. Let's not hurt them by giving them a lot of AP classes or even one in some cases. Do I really understand weighted GPA versus unweighted GPA? Don't allow your student to take AP classes and you don't understand that. That's very, very important for you. GPAs and scholarship determination, UC is the only college system that uses weighted GPAs. I mean, there's a few isolated schools here and there, but in their quantitative determination, most schools, the predominant majority, use unweighted, right? UC is the one using the weighted GPA. In other states, I don't see the obsession with AP courses like our students here have, because we so identify, because our counselors and teachers, and now our parents and our Black leaders, so identify with UC. UC is seen as a victory for our students in our community. If you can get them in UC, we'll talk about that. Here it is here. Many high school counselors favor UCs. Really, they mean UCLA and UC Berkeley as, quote, the best schools, when this is something that highly depends on your student. These are research schools. They're not the best schools for every student. Most of my UC students go in circles when they graduate, and then they go back and get their master's and go in circles again for a minute. They don't really come into their own to their 30s, because everybody doesn't want to stay in research, but we want to get those careers started in their 20s. Many counselors think that AP classes are needed for selective private college. Not so. They use unweighted GPA in their quantitative calculation. Also, they look at many different factors in determining the admission of your student. You know, our private schools do that, okay? I'll tell you one thing they look at for their scholarships, though. They look at unweighted for those scholarships, that's for sure, okay? Problems that EEP sees with AP courses, okay? All right. Lost social and enrichment experiences. That's a big one. And I just talked about that a minute ago, because they're in a lot of AP classes. They can't really experience and enjoy high school. A lot of you think they shouldn't. You think they should just be getting grades and enjoying it that way, but that's not the way it works. And I just don't think it's good for kids. Teachers present and do not teach classes. The non-STEM courses are research courses. The student learns independently. The teacher doesn't have to do much at all. Students have told me the teacher just sits up front and reads a book or works on their budget or pays bills while they're in class. I've heard that a lot. There's very little teaching going on. AP, the worst ones are AP European history. Look, AP European history is for 10th grade students. I would never subject a student to that class. I used to think it was a good experience for them. Your counselors will push you extremely hard. The kids have never taken honors courses, and boom, they get AP Euro history, and they struggle. They struggle. They have a low grade most of the year. At the end of the year, the teacher mercifully gives them a few things to raise their grade. None of them ever pass the AP test. AP US, by the way, I didn't mention this, but these AP courses are really taught to the test. And so when they teach into a test, it's really structured and a lot of independent learning to pass those AP tests, supposedly. And you do get college credit, but you don't have to get college credit only that way. AP US history, AP English literature and language, AP government are the ones I hear the most trouble with. The ones I don't hear much about and seem like students do okay, they just have a lot of work, is AP environmental is a good one if you really have to take one. The STEM AP courses, students are left alone to solve problems, not taught in class. It's very frustrating for youth. AP chemistry, AP calculus are the worst, and they have a very low pass rate on the AP test. They're taught, in fact, when students have AP calculus and they're going to be engineers, the engineering schools make them take calculus again because this course is taught to the AP test. And in that sense, it's not really a calculus class because you're being taught to pass the AP test, more so AP calculus than any other course. AP chemistry is the same way. A lot of times students will take chemistry, then they'll take AP chemistry, and they'll swear to me it's a different course and it's so hard. And it is very, very difficult for our students when they're not really taught that material. The content of non-STEM AP classes sometimes is very woke or counter to your values. The current narrative is what drives the class, I mean the current political narrative, or that they're agenda driven. So right now the current narrative is that, you know, blacks, whites are systemically racist and they're living in a racist society. And in fact, the 1619 society, or whatever you call them, narrative is used in the history classes. And very liberal historians have said it's not true, not just conservatives. It's teaching things that are not true about history, like that the Revolutionary War was fought because of slavery. And that's patently not true. That would be the Civil War. And that our founding fathers were not aware of the evils of slavery. They had slaves, but they were quite aware that it was evil. And they wrote about it. It isn't that easy to understand. It's a complicated issue. But nevertheless, you got to watch for other things in those classes too, that are not things you would teach in your home. So definitely ask the teachers about the content when they're in an AP class, English included, all these ones up here that we just talked about. It's very difficult to get us above a C or a B unless there is a history of A's in honors or AP courses. So keep that in mind. Finally, what are the best alternatives to AP classes? Well, how about just not taking AP classes? You don't have to. It's a free country, last time I checked. I put that bullet there because these counselors are quite persistent in demanding AP courses. And they'll tell your student that they're going to be retarded in their college process. They actually use those kind of words, and that they're going to be less academic, or even sort of say they're dumb. Hey, you tell everybody you're not smart. The parents don't fall for that. Don't, you don't have to take AP classes. It's a free country. The other alternative is how about a 2-year or 4-year college class while they're in high school? That looks equally good to people who read applications for college. I know that personally. So we have in our program trade tech classes, each quarter they're available for college credit. Many of your students have already taken these courses. So this is a great alternative to AP classes that's thought of very highly by selective colleges. Thank you very much. I hope that helps you in making your determination, parents, okay?